Gentlelady yields back. Mr. Massie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Mayorkas, there's been some debate today about the numbers for 2021. How many ICE arrests, detentions, removals have there been for aggravated felonies committed by non-citizens? I want to give you a chance to tell us what that number is.
Thank you very much, Congressman. Let me pull, if I can, the data sheet. In fiscal year 2021, enforcement and removal operations, the part of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, arrested 12,025 individuals convicted of aggravated felonies, nearly double the 6,815 arrested in fiscal year 2020. With respect to removals, in fiscal year 2021, Immigration and Customs Enforcement removed an average of 937 aggravated felons per month, the highest level ever recorded. 46% of ICE removals were for people convicted of felonies or aggravated felonies, compared to 18% during the previous 4 years and 17% the year before that.
Can I ask you, for the people who are watching this back home, aggravated felony is a term of art. Can you, a legal term?
A legal term.
Can you tell us what's included in aggravated felonies? Does it include homicides? What kind of crimes does it include?
It includes a series of serious crimes that Congress has identified as qualifying as aggravated felonies.
So that would be homicide, sexual assault, robbery, kidnapping. Those would be included.
I'd have to take a look at the precise statutory language.
Homicides.
There are also,
and
Congressman, if I may, there are also certain serious crimes. I would qualify them and describe them as serious crimes that are actually not defined as aggravated felonies, which is why we are actually dedicating our enforcement resources to those cases as well.
Thank you. So it does include murderers, rapists, armed robbers, and child molesters. According to the data, I've got your report here that you presented. You give us the numbers for this year. 836,000 migrants have been released into the United States who don't have citizenship here or legal basis for being here. Since January 21st, 2021, Matt Gaetz, my colleague, asked you, will some of the 800,000 migrants that DHS has released into the United States since you've been in this position commit a crime? Do you remember what your answer was?
I believe I said to Congressman Gaetz that some very well might.
You said undoubtedly. How many of those are going to commit a rape?
Congressman, there are individuals.
How many of those are going to commit a murder?
You are speaking of individuals who are making a claim for humanitarian relief.
How many gotaways made it across the border, according to, from your estimates from DHS?
Congressman, can I answer your question?
We got to. How many? I asked you the question. How many of those are going to commit rape, murder, armed robbery, or molest a child? How many of the 800,000 that you have released in here that you told my colleague will undoubtedly commit a crime, and you've just characterized the types of crimes they're going to commit? You're bragging on how many of you've arrested, but how many of you not arrested? And by the way, I want a very specific answer to this. Were those crimes committed in another country, or were those crimes committed in the United States?
Congressman,
were those crimes committed in the United States or another country?
You are describing individuals who are seeking asylum in our country as with a broad brush.
Okay, who were you describing? Let me give you a chance. Who were you describing when you mentioned that you've arrested murderers, rapists, armed robbers, and child molesters? Were they seeking asylum?
Congressman, those individuals are arrested, detained.
How did they get here?
From the United States.
How did they get here?
Congressman, they were encountered at...
Do you have operational control of the border?
I've answered that question a number of times, and yes, we do.
How many people are coming across every day that you can't control?
Congressman, I can give you that number if you'd like.
Wouldn't it be better for the United States if we didn't allow these felons to come into the country, if we didn't give them a chance to commit murders, rapes, child molestation, and armed robbery? You just told us today
the time of the gentleman has expired.
that you arrest these very people for these crimes.
Has expired. The witness may answer the question.
Thank you. The congressman has asked me to disobey the laws of the United States of America, because the laws of the United States of America provide for asylum, provide for humanitarian relief, provide for the protection of individuals who need it under our laws because they fear persecution by reason of their membership in a
You have discretion to remove them from this country. You did not, and they commit crimes, violent crimes.
The gentleman's time has expired. The witness is permitted to answer the gentleman's last question. He's in the process of doing so.
By reason of their fear of persecution, by reason of their membership in a particular social group. And that body of people that the United States law permits to make a claim for relief under laws Congress passed should not be painted with a broad brush of criminality. In fact, my family, and I included, are beneficiaries of those laws because a standard of fear of persecution applies to refugees as well. And we fled the communist takeover of Cuba to enjoy the freedoms and liberties and the democracy that makes this country shine. And we are intensely proud and immensely proud of our humanitarian relief programs. And I will not disobey the laws of humanitarian relief that Congress has passed.